Hello, loves. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat, and today I'm super excited to share with you a concept I really enjoy talking about, which is soulmates. So, today we're going to be talking about why you haven't found love. And full disclosure, I'm in the same boat. I have not found my true soulmate yet, and that's okay. But today I'm going to talk about some of the reasons that might be and how to make the process of looking for your soulmate a little bit more enjoyable. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first thing I want to mention is that if you have the desire for a soulmate, then you have a soulmate out there. There's a person out there who is also looking for you. We are not given these deep soul desires unless there's a possibility of meeting them, right? Like the universe doesn't just dangle a carrot in front of you infinitely because it's doing it for fun or something like that. Now, if you have the desire, if that seed is planted within you, within your soul, then there is a way for you to grow into that or to meet your person. So if you truly have that soul desire, then there's someone out there for you. If you're interested, I highly recommend checking out the book Journey of Souls by Dr. Michael Newton. He is a hypnotherapist as well, and he has done tons of work with people who he has regressed into their past lives. And then from there on, he takes them into the spirit world to see where the soul lives, what the soul does in between lifetimes, and when it is preparing for the next life. And so in his books, he talks about how most people do have a romantic soulmate. We all have many soulmates, but we do have a partner who we are meant to be with and grow with in our lifetime, if that is what we choose. If you are someone who does not want a soulmate or a romantic partner, then A, you're probably not going to be watching this video, and B, you might not have one. But if you really truly desire a soulmate, then you have one. Then there's someone out there for you, and your soul knows it, and that's why you have that desire. So Michael Newton talks about this in his book and how soulmates actually decide before we come to Earth that we're going to be soulmates, we're going to be partnered up, and they actually create these sort of signs that you recognize in the other person. So sometimes it could be their eyes, or sometimes it'll be their smile or their laugh. But you will have certain signs that you just recognize within another person. And so some of you with, past relationships, you might have noticed this, where there's just something about that person that made you feel like you knew them, right? That made you recognize them as someone who is meant to be in your life. And that's true for your soulmate as well, and all of the important soulmates in your lifetime. Michael Newton actually talks about how when we are prepping for our lives, how we actually go into a class where we learn to remember these signs for each other. So if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend his books and his teachings. They are incredibly interesting. I also just want to point out that there is nothing wrong with you. If you have been looking for love for a long time, or you've gone through a lot of relationships that didn't work out, I just want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you. All of our relationships are meant to teach us something. We are meant to learn from them. You are perfect, and there is somebody out there for you. Okay, so why haven't you found love? Well, I think there's a societal misconception that finding love is about acting a certain way, becoming a certain way, and checking off a bunch of boxes with yourself so that your partner will be attracted to you. And I call bullshit. I feel that a lot of the love gurus out there, of course, they mean well, but at the same time, it's not so much about having people be attracted to you. It's about creating the person who you actually want to be so that the perfect person for you will love you for who you are. Right? It's not about putting up a facade or learning how to be flirty or, learning how to play the game or whatever they are teaching you. It's about being your truest, most authentic self and learning how to be a good person, right? We're here on this planet to evolve. That is the point, right? So if you can be in your truest, authentic nature and you are working on yourself as a person, meaning you're doing your shadow work, meaning you are, trying to be a better person every day, you are opening yourself up, learning how to be more creative, learning how to be more in your inner child, in your inner truth. That is what is going to attract your ideal person to you, to your authentic self. So you don't have to pretend to be anything else. You just have to be yourself. Your amazing, wonderful self. And that's going to attract your person to you. So it's not even so much about going out there and searching for your person. If you are living in your authentic truth, then you're already out there doing things that you love. You are working on projects that inspire you, or you're in communities who you love to be with, right? So you are living your life to the fullest in your fullest expression. And through that, you are going to attract the person who you're meant to be with. And make no mistake, that will happen when it is meant to happen. And that brings me to my next point, which is that there's divine timing for many of the milestones in your life. So your soul actually lays out a plan before it comes into this body, into this lifetime. And your plan is essentially your astrological birth chart. So you might have already explored your birth chart and seen that there are certain times where the energy is more conducive to certain events, right? And this sort of lays out the milestones. But of course, don't forget that we have freedom of choice. So in the process of this divine plan, we can also go out and meet people who are no good for us and spend way too much time with them, right? So we want to remember that your soul has a plan for you. Right? So as long as you are sticking with the plan, you are on your spiritual path, and you are working on fully expressing yourself, working on finding your authentic self, you're going to meet your partner at some point. So you don't really have to go out looking for them. You just have to be in your truth and in your full expression. And so what I want to mention here is that sometimes the soul chooses to learn and evolve through relationships, through romantic relationships, meaning that you will have several long-term relationships throughout your lifetime. So you're basically a serial monogamist or something like that. And then you have souls like me, who I'm actually 34 today, and my soul has never had a long-term relationship in this lifetime. So for me, it's never quite worked out where the timing was right or the energy was right for a relationship that was long and lasting. And I figured out that this is because my soul has decided that that didn't serve my highest good. So my soul has decided that it's more productive for me to do a lot of personal work on my own before meeting my partner. So sometimes the soul chooses to learn on its own before entering into a mutually beneficial relationship. And then sometimes the soul chooses to learn through various relationships. And there isn't one way that is better than the other. It's just by choice, essentially. It's by the choice of yourself and your soul. Right? So you can either learn through multiple relationships, or you can learn a lot on your own and then enter into a relationship that is pretty much immediately more harmonious to start with because you've already done a lot of personal work. And if this path is chosen, if you are someone who is doing a lot of personal work and is waiting for that beautiful relationship, then it is going to be likely that your partner has done a lot of personal work as well. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, but essentially you're both getting ready to meet your perfect match. And another reason why you haven't found love might be because your soul is wanting to learn the lesson of self-love. Now, this lesson is essentially the foundation for everything. And self-love means being able to set boundaries. Self-love means treating yourself with respect. It means speaking to yourself in a way that is kind and supportive. And it means thinking kind thoughts about yourself. So it is the things that you do for yourself. It is the things that you say to yourself. And it is the way that you treat yourself. And the level of importance that you place on your own needs and your own desires. So essentially, self-love is about a relationship with yourself, meaning this needs to be the most important relationship in your life if you are going to find a person who is just as emotionally aware and mature as you are, because you are attracting them with your vibration. And if your vibration is a vibration of self-love, then you are going to attract someone who feels the same way about themselves. Someone who is not insecure, someone who treats others as well as they treat themselves, and who really cares and values themselves. So this is such an important lesson because if we don't truly love ourselves, then we are generally looking for love in all of the wrong places. And I've been there. It's not fun. So if you don't love yourself and you don't feel that you are worthy of love on a deep subconscious level, then you are going to attract into your life only the people who are going to repeat those emotions within you. The people who are going to reflect those emotions back to you, meaning you are going to attract people who don't really love you, or people who take advantage of you, or people who treat you badly, right? So it's really important that we find that self-love within ourselves before we enter into a relationship. Because if you're wanting to change anything in your external world, you have to change your internal world first. So if you want to attract a new kind of partner, a partner who is loving and kind and gentle and wonderful and fun and all of those things, then you really need to feel that you are worthy of that. That you are worthy of attracting that kind of amazing person because you feel that you are amazing. So here's an example from my own life, and this is super embarrassing. So I only share this because I hope that it will show you what not to do. So growing up, I was always a people pleaser. I was the person who would do anything and everything to make sure that everybody around me was happy. And so that translated into my relationships. And I didn't really have any worth of myself. I didn't think I really deserved love. I didn't feel like I really cared about myself. I didn't do things that were nice. I never got a massage. I never really paid attention to self-care outside of externally looking good in order to attract my mate or my partner. So I was very much externally looking for affection, attention, looking for love. So I would wear these ridiculous outfits, very revealing clothing, which there's nothing wrong with that objectively, if you really you just like wearing that kind of clothing. But if it's something that you're doing to get attention from others, then it's not in alignment with who you are. So that was not in alignment with who I am. And I used sort of my sexuality to draw people in who I felt could provide me with love. And so I met someone who I felt was the perfect person for me. He was handsome and tall and all of the things. And I was very aggressive with pursuing this person. And even though he did not show me much attention or didn't show me that he really cared, I just continued to pursue him because this is what I wanted. And I thought that he was going to give me validation. He was going to give me love. And there was another woman who also really wanted this guy, right? And so she was also after him. And I didn't find out until after I started pursuing this man that this woman was also pursuing him, right? So we were both pursuing the same guy, and we were acquaintances who hung out occasionally, so somewhat friends. And we found this out, and instead of saying, okay, well, this is ridiculous, why are we both pursuing this man who was not really showing either of us enough attention to show that he wants to be with us, but only showing us just enough attention to keep us on the hook, so to say. Instead of saying, okay, let's just quit with this shit, let's be friends, and let's let this guy go and, you know, just be the best people that we can be. Instead of doing that, of course, we said, okay, well, you know, whoever he chooses, the other person will be okay with that. But yet we never set a sort of marker for when this person is one. So instead, we continued pursuing this man and ruined our friendship. And he didn't end up choosing either one of us. So the moral of the story is, don't try this at home, kids. So what I ultimately learned from this experience is that I need to love myself first. I cannot go looking for love from people who are not willing to give me love, right? I need to love myself first, and I need to fill myself up, filling up my own cup before I enter into a relationship. Because if I can't love myself, then the other person most likely is not going to be able to love me either. So it's really about digging deep and finding out, what do you want? Who do you want to be? How do you feel good? What makes you feel worthy? Because you deserve all of the things that you desire. You deserve to be treated well. You deserve to be loved in the way that you want to be loved. And so I had to figure this out for myself. I had to figure out that if I expect someone else to love me, then I need to love myself first and figure out what it is that I want. How do I want to be treated? And I should treat myself that way. How do I want to be talked to? And I should talk to myself that way. Self-worth and self-love are the foundation for all good relationships in your life. So I really invite you to dig deep and to find out, where can you love yourself a little bit more? Where can you give yourself more attention, more love, more affection? Where can you do something nice for yourself? And really learn how to be on your own. Because this is where you learn who you truly are and who you truly want to be. It's a little bit more difficult to do that in the confines of a relationship, because relationships are about compromise. Relationships are about giving and taking and making the other person's happiness your own happiness, which is beautiful. But it's also possible, if you don't know who you are before you enter into a relationship, that you completely lose yourself and your own identity in that relationship, because you are molding to everything that the other person is wanting and needing, but you don't really understand what you truly want or need. So I invite you to really begin enjoying this process of being single. Because if you truly want a love in your life, then you will have one. There is one out there for you, I promise you. And in order to make the waiting process a little bit more fun, stop waiting. Just live your life in the best way that you can. Work on loving yourself. Work on fully expressing yourself. Trying the things that you've always wanted to try but haven't had the courage to try yet. Do the things that you've always wanted to do and really enjoy your life. Go out with your girlfriends or your guy friends or whoever and just spend time enjoying, spend time in gratitude, in really getting to know yourself. Because only by getting to know yourself can you figure out what you truly want in someone else. So I will leave you with that for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment below on your thoughts about this. Also, I'd love to hear from you if you have any ideas for topics you would like me to discuss in my upcoming videos. Just leave those in the comments, and I will talk to you soon.